Welcome to The Hot Slice, a podcast brought to you by Pizza Today magazine. My name is Kate Lavin, senior editor at Pizza Today, and I'm joined today by host of The Hot Slice, Pizza Today executive editor Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Hello, Kate. Yay. Hello. It's such a good we're getting ready to go into holiday weekend. We're recording this, behind the scenes, y'all. We're recording this early, so we're getting ready to go into an extended holiday weekend.
Yes. And today our guest is Melina Piroso Felix, founder and owner operator of Pizza Bandit in Denver, Colorado. She was such a fun person to talk to. I had an absolute blast.
You know what? I had not met her yet, and I absolutely love her. I think she's doing amazing things. And, her name had come up several times when we were talking to people about rising stars. And when we got to looking, we're like, oh, she's it. We're gonna add her to the list. So that, we made her a rising star of the pizza industry for 2025. And she's so amazing.
Yeah, so if you have not checked it out, please go and look at the July issue of Pizza Today magazine. You can check out our 2025 class of rising stars, and Melina is one of them. And she's just a really fun person to talk to, as you will see.
All right. Well, let's just jump right in because we had such a good chat with her.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Are you ready to elevate your bakeware game? Spokane, Washington-based Lloyd Pans is the trusted name for professionals and home chefs alike. For over 40 years, Lloyd Pans has been creating innovative food service, bakeware, and pizza pans and tools designed to deliver perfect results every time. Whether it's crispy golden pizza crusts or perfectly baked pastries, Lloyd Pans' durable, stick-resistant, and proprietary pan finishes are a game changer. Visit lloydpans.com to explore our full lineup and find your perfect pan today. Need shipping quotes or custom products? Email sales@lloydpans.com for personalized service. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
We had heard of you, of course. We definitely were following you, but it was like on a whole new level when other people started bringing up your name. We're like, hey,
Oh my
we can
God, I'm
look at
so
her.
touched. Pizza people are the best.
They
I'm
are.
blown away by how cool everyone is. That like makes my heart grow. I love that so much.
I love this community. The pizza community and the support for one another it's unlike anything else. I've been in other industries and this doesn't
Mhm.
exist. I know, Kate, you've been elsewhere too. This doesn't exist in other places.
Especially in kitchens, chefs can
Yeah.
be very
Yeah.
protective and, not as friendly. But pizza chefs are a whole different thing. They are
Yeah.
friendly. They care about each other. They help each other. They share recipes. I mean, it's such a great community. I agree.
I agree.
How are you doing, Melina?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to see you.
Yes, it's good to see you as well. I love the article.
Oh,
Love
good.
how you ended with I'm cloning myself right now. I was cracking up. I
Oh,
was like,
nice. That's awesome.
perfect.
Oh, good. I want to make sure because it's one thing to spell your name, but I want to make sure I say it correctly.
Okay,
Melina Piroso Felix, is that right?
nailed it.
Okay.
Nailed it on the first try.
Okay, good. And should I call you founder of the Pizza Bandit, founder and owner of the Pizza Bandit?
Founder and owner is
Okay,
is what makes sense. Yeah.
founder and owner.
And
Okay,
operator and web designer. And I mean, if we really
All
want
the
to get
things.
into it.
That's the thing about business ownership. You
Yeah.
kind of have to wear all the hats unless you want to pay for those hats.
Yeah. Slowly, we've been able to start, offloading things. Like we finally got a
Yeah.
bookkeeper this year, which was
Yeah.
life-changing. That was really
I
nice.
always
Ooh,
heard that if you like take your biggest pain point that you yourself don't want to deal with and offload that, and I've
Mm,
heard that that's like the way to do it. And for
that's
me,
a good point.
it definitely would be the financials. I would have to be like, okay, speak to me
for
like I'm
sure.
five, give me all the data.
Yeah,
Okay,
just do it for me. Yeah.
Before we get into too many great details,
Yeah.
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce you,
Okay.
and because I think we're already recording. So, Melina, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on being one of our 2025 Rising Stars.
Thank you so much
Woo!
for having me. I'm so
Congratulations.
honored. Like I said, I'm actually kind of speechless still. The whole thing is just it's really beautiful and I feel really proud of myself for all the work that I've put in and really honored that people have noticed that and everyone has been so kind. So I'm full of appreciation and I'm humbled.
Well,
And
this is
Yeah.
sharing the
great.
cover with amazing people. I know a lot of those people on there and everyone is amazing as well. So thank you again.
How exciting! Well, I know that you started your pizzeria as a mobile business and transitioned into a food hall maybe 4 months ago, is it now?
Yeah, yeah,
How
correct.
how has that transition been?
It's been pretty wild. They were remodeling the location when we actually landed the opportunity. And, as all construction, it took longer than expected. So we actually only had 2 days from the moment we got the keys to the moment we started selling pizza. You know, I, ideally
Wow.
we would, and it wasn't their fault, of course. Ideally we would have had more time. One of the things that was mentioned in the article, which anyone who makes dough knows, is anytime you go to a new location, you have a new oven, you have new water, you have new ambient
Yeah.
temperature. There's a million different things. So we had to really just learn and evolve on the fly.
Hmm.
Um, Thankfully, even though it took us a couple weeks to kind of like really solidify how we want our dough to look and cook in this oven, in this environment, in this temperature, thankfully our sauces are really good, and we've had those honed in for a couple years. So even if I'm serving someone a dough that's not where I want it to be, the sauce can make up for it. The high quality cheese can make up for it. My staff is really supportive and really amazing, so they do a great job of selling the product. They make sure everybody knows this is homemade ranch. This is the best
Hmm.
cheese. Like, they're really great at that. Yeah, so it's been, learning on the fly just as we go. And then being in a food stall is really interesting. It resembles a food truck as far as your operational space. It's small, it's tiny. You bump into each other. Like you better like each other because you're in a hot, sweaty box for, you
Yeah.
know, 10 hours a day. But then it's different because the volume is way more intense. So, in a lot of ways, the truck trained us for the food hall, to be in that small area. But then we've had to adjust for volume, which, every week we get better. We streamline our process more. We come up with our different SOPs. And it's been really, really interesting. And actually, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise that we didn't have a lot of time beforehand to plan it because now we're planning it as things happen. We can adjust to the actual situation. So we're creating the SOPs as we're finding a need for things, as we're seeing where the discrepancies are or where the faults are. So yeah, it's been intense. It's been wonderful. It's been fun. Good days, bad days. We had a chimney fire. That was fun.
Oops.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
One day, yeah, yeah, the manager of Avanti runs over. She's like, "Your chimney is on fire." And sure enough, the chimney that was leading out of our pizza oven was shooting
Oh,
fireworks out of it. Um,
no.
yeah, so it's been exciting.
That is the most exciting
It
thing I've
was.
heard today, that's for sure.
If they could have planned it on the 4th, I would have been okay with it. But yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that actually, because we are recording this on the week of the 4th of July. And when I was lucky enough to visit your spot in person, you told me about some of the cool things that you've done for other holidays.
yeah.
Could you tell everybody a little bit about some of those?
Yeah, well, so just to use the 4th as an example, we're running an apple pie pizza for the 4th of July, right? Because as American as apple pie.
Can't get any more
So
American than that.
I know, right? Yeah. So we use I buy organic Granny Smith apples and in a slow cooker I make the apple pie filling myself with a apple pie spice blend and sugar,
Oh
brown
my gosh.
sugar, all that stuff, right? We let it cook slowly, makes the commissary smell amazing, right? It smells like a
Oh,
bakery down there. And then we do a base of caramel, apple pie filling. Of course, you got to have your mozz that goes in the oven. And then when it comes out, we hit it with our homemade crumble, a little bit more caramel, and of course, a la mode. Got to go a la mode with some vanilla ice cream. And then the savory is we're gonna have a American cheeseburger pizza. And
Yeah.
it's exactly what you think is what it is. We made our own burger sauce, which is like a variation of Thousand Island, but with a little more pickle element into it. Pickle chips, mustard, mayo, ketchup, hamburger, of course, lettuce and cheese. I mean, it's not a rocket science, but it tastes amazing. Yeah.
But hey, a hamburger pizza sounds really good to me.
It
I
is.
will eat it all day long. And if you
It
dip
is.
it
It
in
is.
some beer cheese, I don't know, I'm just wild for beer cheese.
Ooh.
Oh, I love, you know what? I might have to do that. Yeah, and then like we've done for Cinco de Mayo, we did our corneroni pizza, which is basically a take on an elote corn pizza, right? So we
Mm,
basically
yum.
deconstruct what goes on an elote corn, but we add sausage and we add pepperoni. The corn, I actually use corn on the cob and then I'll cut it whole so you get whole chunks of corn. That's the
Mhm.
goal. And I make sure when my staff is putting the pizzas together, I'm like, everyone needs a side of corn on there. I want customers to know it's not coming from the can. I actually
Yeah.
shucked it and grilled it and did the whole thing,
Yeah.
um, so that it really tastes like you're eating corn. And then just to name one more, that was one of my personal favorites for St. Patrick's Day. We did a shepherd's pie pizza with a
Mm.
Guinness stout gravy, and then it had the ground beef that was also cooked in Guinness, of course, cheese, and then we piped on some mashed potatoes and peas and carrots, and those were from the can. Because if you've had shepherd's pie, you know it's peas and carrots from the can. That's
Yeah.
kind of the whole vibe of it. And that was one of my favorite specials we've ever done. It was so hearty. We sold out of it every day that we had it. It was amazing. So
As a
yeah,
Midwesterner, I approve of that pie.
yeah, 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 yeah. People love hearty stuff out here. As was mentioned in the article, I'm really big on give the people what they want. I'm not
Mhm.
going to try to force feed someone, vegan carrot sauce if they want ranch. I'm not here to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering, since you are in this food hall space,
Yeah.
what is it kind of like sharing, I guess you're competing in a way
hmm
with your neighbors, but at the same time you're sharing a space with your neighbors. How does that work?
Yeah, it's okay. So, first off, the best thing is the trades, right? The trading is the best part of it. You eat everybody's food, everybody tries everybody's specials, so you never really get bored. And I love it. It feels like a little community, like a little family. When you're just working in a restaurant, you have those people, but this feels like working in five different restaurants because everyone's got their own little groups, but then we're all friends with each other. We help
Mhm.
each other out. It's really great. Got to borrow something. I'm out of eggs. I'm out of this. I'm out of that. Someone's got it. Yeah, it's as far as a competitive element, we're all working with such different niches. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel competitive, right? Like, the neighbors to my right sell Thai food. I sell pizza. To the left, it's like a healthy bowl type of situation. So
Yeah.
we're not really like someone coming in for pizza is not coming in for whatever, something else. But the cool part about the food halls is you can get a lot of different things, or one group can have a lot of different things. So in that way, it almost doesn't feel competitive because a group of people will come in and get whatever they want from the different vendors.
You
But
you
it's
get rid
it's a
of the
lot of fun. I
veto
love it.
power. You
I'm
get rid of
sorry?
that veto. You get rid of that veto vote, right?
Exactly. Yes, everyone can have whatever they want. Yeah. Yeah. No, I personally really enjoy it. Yeah.
Was that why the why that was kind of a food hall was the right next move for you from
Yeah.
the food truck?
Yeah, it was the perfect next move because as much as, all of us, not, well, maybe not all of us, but many of us were always dreaming of having our own restaurant. This is a really fantastic kind of middle ground between like a restaurant and a
Yeah.
food truck, right? So we're really just, again, learning our systems, I think we've gone through like three vendors since we started in 4 months. So like figuring out which vendors work best for us. So it's great because we're working out all those kinks. And then by the time we open our brick and mortar, we will have figured a lot of things out that we wouldn't have figured out on the truck. So in my
Yeah.
opinion, it's a fantastic transition. And it's great because we're in Denver, whereas the
Yeah.
food truck was mainly based out of Littleton. So now we're exposed to an entirely new market, entirely new group of people. It's was the perfect move. Yeah. I'm still really I can't even believe I'm there sometimes still. I'm like, wow, this is really cool.
And
That's
the part of
awesome.
Denver you're in, it's really youthful,
Yeah.
very like lots and lots of nightlife, lots
Yeah.
near a ton of bars,
A
lots of
ton.
late night stuff, I would say.
Yeah, and that's really when people come to eat pizza. So the daytime we get a couple stragglers come in. We're doing sandwiches now, so we're having some people buy our subs. We do like a meatball sub, an Italian chopped, and a
Oh,
chicken
yes.
parm. The Italian chopped is my favorite. I love that.
Yes.
But the morning we kind of do prep, and then the people come in for pizza at night. That's our main crowd. We get a good amount of drunks on Friday and Saturday night, which is expected, but they're friendly. I can't complain. I think in 4 months we've had maybe one or two people that was a little hangry. We'll call it hangry.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everyone's just like, in a good mood. They've been boozing, they're hungry. We do extra large New York style slices, which we didn't
Oh,
used to do those on the truck, but I saw that in this space, people really wanted that, and we were able to do it in our oven. So we do these giant slices, like a New York slice. One slice is the size of your head. And so we'll get a bunch of those ready and people just see them and they're like, they just kind of like point. It looks like a moth to a flame. They're like, I want that. And I'm like, all right, I want to give it to you. Here it is.
I love that.
Yeah.
How does the marketing differ from the truck to the food hall? Is it different? Because I mean you're going
Yeah.
for that very young market as well. So is it different in the food hall?
Yeah, it's really different. That's a good question. So a lot of the marketing I did before with the truck really was about me coming up with creative recipes that I would make at home. And I also was at home a lot more often. And I would post recipes every day. And then I would just say, okay, well, the truck's going to be here. And of all the recipes I posted, this is the one I'm going to sell. But with the food hall, I realized I can't really do that because it's too confusing because it's more of an established business. So if I post something that I made, I've noticed people will come in asking for it. So that's why I've stopped posting as much as I used to, the creative, interesting stuff, because it was just confusing people. Like,
Mhm.
so I have to still figure that out. I know I've been told that we need to just kind of turn our camera on and like film us during the busy shift because people like to see that. Haven't done it yet, but I am getting around to doing that. And then the Avanti team itself is really great at promoting us. So any specials we have, they're fantastic. They've got a great marketing team that shares to their followers. We've done collaborations with other vendors, where they will provide a product and we'll add it to the pizza. And so now we're both sharing a story about, whatever we just made. So it's different. It's got to be more tailored. I would say it feels almost more commercial, but not in a bad sense. It is because I am selling something at a specific place. So I've got to be a little more careful with what I'm posting. Yeah.
Kind of a follow-up to that. What platforms are working for you for
Yeah.
that younger audience? I'm always curious of what's working.
Yes, TikTok is the one that I need to get on because I know that's where everybody is. I've just been dragging my feet, but I need to get on it. It's on my to-do list. We have a presence there as I mean, well, not a presence. We have an account, but I haven't really done much with it. But I really need to do that because I know that's where the people are. But for us, so far, it's been Instagram. And I mean, I'll be the first to say Instagram has changed my entire life. Instagram is the reason
Mhm.
why I'm here now. I just started posting pizzas from home before I even had the Pizza Bandit. And now here we are 3 years later. So Instagram for me has been instrumental in the growth of our business. I do a lot of targeted ads. So if I'm going to sell, like, for example, the apple pie pizza, I just did a post about that. I'll boost that post. I'll do a targeted ad. I'll pay like $50 and it'll send that to several thousand people just in a, 5 mile radius from where we're selling it.
Um, as far as what other locations you might eventually be interested in, you've
Oh,
you've done Littleton, so you've kind of done a suburban area. Now you're in definitely closer to a downtown hotspot. What do you think you might be interested in next?
yeah, so I have a couple meetings going on right now. I can't, super disclose, but we would like to eventually have a brick and mortar in Littleton
Mhm.
because we really, we live here, we're fond of the community, we still have a really big following here, and there's a need for us here. So that for sure is one thing that we're working on. And then we are having conversations with just other investors and groups. You know how it is. You kind of have all the conversations and see what materializes for just different places in and around the Denver suburbs.
Yeah.
I would love to be in one of the stadiums. I know that they're looking for pizza in some of the stadiums here. So I'm going to throw my hat into that ring.
We're getting a
Nice.
And
women's soccer team. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're getting a new women's soccer team.
See, I didn't know that. I
Oh,
actually
that's
don't follow
awesome.
sports, so I need to be told by people what the sports things to do are. See, that's a good one.
Now you know.
We have one in
Okay.
Louisville, and it's very well attended. Like it's
Thank
pretty
you for
big.
telling me.
So
I'm
it's
sure they would
fun.
love a woman-owned business there then.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
What are they called?
That I don't know yet.
Okay, I'll look into it. Okay. Thank you for
Oh,
that.
you
And
know,
then one of the things that I really always had in my mind when creating the Pizza Bandit branding was I really want this to become a national or international brand, something that you can go into one anywhere and it's good. And I know that that sounds a lot of times people hear that and it's like, oh no, but I think it can be done in the right way. There's a lot of like I think Panera Bread does a great job. You go to Panera Bread, that stuff tastes good. I don't know if it's you know, maybe it's not good to everyone else, but it's pretty good to me, I think. So I would like to have a business model similar to that. I mean, obviously we probably won't have as many stores as them, but something like that as far as the quality, right? So I would like to really grow this eventually, franchise it. Definitely we're working on selling the sauces and the merchandise because people are just asking for that. So I was talking to a bottler 2 weeks ago. The merch, we've got it designed. So yeah, I really want to grow this in as many ways as possible.
I can tell you your brand, it is fire. It's
Thank
so
you.
well done, and you can just see it's really tailored, and
Thank
I
you so
think it
much.
could definitely stretch. I would like to see it. Hey, if you need a new place to come, you remember Louisville, we're always looking for good pizza. I'm just gonna say
Okay, I
it.
love that. And I love bourbon. I hear you guys do that really well, and I love
We're
barbecue. So
we're kind of known for bourbon
I
and
know.
barbecue and beer because I like beer. So
Oh, I love beer
love it.
too. I love it
So
too.
we need to get known for pizza. We're not as
Okay,
known for pizza.
I
So
hear what you're saying. Maybe I'll come check it out. One of the things about me is I had a career in creative direction and brand management for
Mm,
10 to 15 years before doing this. I was a graphic
wow.
designer, so all the merchandise I've designed myself, all the graphics. And it's funny, you never know what in life is going to help you for whatever else you're
Yeah.
doing. And I mean, having that background has just been instrumental for our growth and for our brand. I don't have to hire a designer ever. I just
Yeah.
do it all myself.
And
And
you
I
know
love
what
doing it.
that line item is. I mean, you know what that
I know
costs.
what it is. Yeah, yeah. I've saved us thousands of dollars. And I love doing it. Like when I design our stickers, I have to stop myself because I will keep going. Or when I'm designing the t-shirts, like I won't stop. I'll spend like, all night just designing the t-shirts. I have a professional heat press. That's what I was mimicking here. So I order the professional like prints and then I just make t-shirts on a Sunday or whenever I'm not working. It's kind of an obsession.
That's
That is
awesome.
very cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned speaking of not having to hire a designer, you mentioned that you live in Littleton, the
Yes.
restaurant is now in Denver. I don't imagine that you want to be downtown super late on Friday and Saturday nights. How is the hiring going and staffing and all of that? Is that difficult to find people who do want to work those late hours?
My team is really fantastic. They love working those hours. I work Friday night, my partner works Saturday night. So we usually have one of us on staff during the busiest times. We could fully staff that out so that we have Friday and Saturday night off,
Yeah.
but we both believe that it's really important for one of us to be there, for us to always have a presence there. There are days where neither of us is there, but we're always available by phone or we're doing office work. It's been my impression that a lot of businesses really struggle when the owners are not around, especially during those critical times. I might not close on a Friday, but I'm going to be there during what we call the suck, like I'm gonna be there until the crowd dies down. Maybe I'll let the rest of the team leave. But I've been there, or maybe I'll leave and they can close. But I've also been there 3 hours before everyone else, or I've been doing office work,
Yeah.
3 hours in the morning, as anyone who owns a business knows. So for us, it's really important that our presence is felt there, um, not in a micromanaging way, in a way that shows we care. But to answer your other question, like our staff, they're pizza people. They're passionate about what they do. They're proud of what they do. They're good at what they do. So they don't mind. They enjoy it. When we have a good shift, like people, we all look tired. We're covered in flour. We look like we've been through war, but like we're happy. It feels good. I've been really, really fortunate with the staff that I have right now. They're awesome people. Yeah, they get the job done. I'm not worried about them. If something goes wrong, we have a talk, and everyone's like, got it. I very rarely have to say things twice. So, but yes, there were a lot of applicants that we interviewed before getting to our staff.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
good you have it. And you have a vehicle for them to move up eventually,
correct.
now that you want to grow your business and take it into national and international space,
Correct.
you've got a place for them to go. That
Correct.
helps.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it. We want to, we've only been open 4 months, so it just feels like every week we figure out like a new critical thing. So we're still figuring out all the critical things. We've got most of
Yeah.
it down, but we're still kind of perfecting everything.
Yeah.
But once everything is perfectly streamlined, perfect with an asterisk because it's never going to be perfect. But once things are really streamlined, that's when we're just going to put all our energy into growth. And we've got people that I'm confident I can be like, okay, we're going to open up here. You go teach the new people how to run the shop, and I know they'll be able to do it. And this ties back into what we talked about earlier, how because we're all growing together, they're helping us develop the systems and the SOP. So
Yeah.
like it's fantastic because they're doing it with us. So they know more than anyone else that I could hire and teach because they've done it with us.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
it is.
Well, you have your hands in so many different things. Uh, I almost hate to ask, have you managed to get the food truck out this season? Is that something that might happen?
Yes, it's actually going out tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, yeah. So, we haven't been as aggressive with it as we were last year, obviously. The food truck is kind of tricky because we have to drop it off, like that's the hard part. And I have someone that can do that for me, but it's just a little bit trickier. So, what we really wanted to focus on this year with the food truck is putting it in places where we're definitely not gonna incur a loss. So, that would include places where we know for sure it's going to be super crowded and we'll make at least $1,000, which is really my minimum, or caterings and weddings, which are
Yeah.
prepaid. Because now that we're busy with Avanti, we really can't risk doing what we did last year, which is like somebody's brand new brewery opened up. Do you want to show
Hmm.
up? And then you go and you make $200 because no one's there. And I
Yeah.
don't have the marketing resources or time to really, get that out there as much as I could. So, but hopefully we can ramp it up more next year.
Yeah.
We're looking at possibly having it permanently stationed in a brewery in Lakewood. That's like almost definitely going to happen. I haven't announced it yet because I need to, well, you know how things go. You can't announce until it's
Yeah.
like there. But
Yeah.
if that happens, that'll be great because then it'll be permanently there and then I can really focus on deliveries and I can focus on pickups. Like I can just do a lot of outreach to the community there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But tomorrow we will be in Littleton for the 3rd of July. Littleton does fireworks on the 3rd of July. So we did it last year. We just kind of camped out in front of this bank where everyone sits. So we'll be doing that this year.
Oh, that's
Excellent.
awesome.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
cool.
Thank you.
yeah, one thing that I'm always curious about because you started your journey with pizza long before you ever envisioned being a
Yeah.
restaurateur.
Yeah.
Uh, so what was the draw to pizza? Like why was pizza
Yeah.
the thing that you really wanted to get into?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I know I've mentioned before, I did work for my uncle's pizza restaurant. He has a Roman slice house in Miami. So I did that many years in my 20s, off and on. It was great to have an uncle with a business because when you need a
Yeah.
job, like they can always get you in. And I was the night manager, which was really interesting, being the night manager at a South Beach pizza place that was open later than anyone else. I would work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Oh, wow.
That was really fantastic because I've seen it all. I like people come in, like the drugs here are nothing like the drugs there. Let's
I'll
just say
bet the
that.
fashion was outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
It was, and Miami
And the
is very
people
hot.
watching.
People are people are barely dressed. It is so hot. Like it was interesting. It was fun. It was great. And one of the things that happened working there is my uncle's pizza, he really focuses on quality ingredients. Everything he uses is the best quality that he can find within the range for that price point. So it kind of spoiled me. And when I left Miami and I tried to buy pizza elsewhere, I just didn't like it. So I started making it at home. And then I started doing graphic design for them. Once I left Miami, I did graphic design for my uncle's pizza place. And I would spend, 8 hours a day working on menus and reading pizza words. And I would get so hungry and I would go order pizza and I was always disappointed. I'm kind of picky with it. So I started making it at home. And then fast forward 15 years later, I got really good at making it at home, lots of trial and error. I lived in Minnesota for about 10 years, and Minnesota, it was, you can get anything you want there. You can get whatever you want, right? As far as your fresh vegetables. But because of the harsh winters, sometimes those vegetables and fruits aren't going to taste as good. And that actually was a game changer for me because it taught me how to elevate and improve ingredients when they're lacking flavor or when they're not fresh. So
Yes.
it was one of those things that turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Whereas when I lived in California, you can just buy a tomato and throw it on a pizza and it tastes amazing because that tomato, the flavor is so intense.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in Minnesota, sometimes it wasn't because it's winter. Everything's dead. No shade to Minnesota.
Those hot
That
house
taught me the up.
tomatoes, man. Those hot house tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, so then because I had, the pizza training with my uncle, I couldn't find it anywhere else. I started making it on my own and it became an addiction. The addiction was making it, the whole process of it. It's almost romantic, you have to make the dough, you have to focus on it, right? It's not something you can phone in because if the temperature's off or the yeast is dead, if you're not paying attention, anyone
Yeah.
who makes pizza knows you're screwed, and then there's the ingredients all have to be balanced. I like to do things that are really complex, and then I like to do things that are really simple. So there's just so much involved in it. It was for me really relaxing. And I guess part of it too is maybe it's in my blood, because my uncle did it. Grandparents had a bakery in Italy, so I think there is some component to
Yeah.
that. It's like inside of me. I just want to
Yeah.
make it. I don't even eat it that often, if I'm being real. I just really love making it. Yeah, so then after COVID, and I know this was a common thing for a lot of people, after COVID hit, I was like, what am I waiting for? Just because for years people would say, you should open a pizza place. And I'd say, I'm gonna open a pizza place one day. Because every potluck I made pizza. If people came over, I made pizza. It was like
Yeah.
the thing, if I'm coming over, I'm bringing pizza. So it was just a common thing that was said around me, a common thing that I said, one day I'll open a pizza place. One day I'll open a pizza place. And then after COVID, I was like, in the lockdowns, I was like, I'm not waiting anymore. That was a wake up call. I was like, you never know what's going to happen. I'm
Yeah.
just, I got an uni. My parents gave me an uni for Christmas, burned a lot of pizza that week, and then finally figured it out.
Kate and
Yeah.
I know what that's like, don't
Yep.
we?
Yeah. 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 There's definitely a learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story, and I think about the fact that you were obviously meant to be a pizza maker because you said it's therapy for you.
It
It's not
is.
a
Yes.
frustration. It's not like that's pretty good. That means you're kind of born to do it.
Yeah, I don't get tired of doing it. Even sometimes, like, if I'm like, maybe I don't feel like going to the stall today. As soon as I get there and I start making it, I immediately am like, oh, I love this. It just feels good. Obviously I have to wear gloves to be, correct at work, but at home I don't like to use gloves. I like to touch the dough.
Yeah.
I'm really big on the kinetic part of it. I want to feel it.
Hmm.
Same thing with the ingredients. Again, it's kind of romantic. You you want to use the best quality things and coming up with that balance. It's artistic too, I feel.
Well, pardon the pun, but I think one of the things that makes you a rising star is how you have your hands in all of these different pies. And it's been a lot of fun talking to you today.
Ba-dum-bum.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
love
so
it.
Yeah.
much.
So thank you for joining us. It's been a real pleasure.
I'm honored to be here. Anytime you want to have me back, I can keep talking about pizza, and I love talking anyway, so as you
Excellent.
I'm sure.
That's awesome. Well, we will keep following your journey because we know that you've got a bright future ahead.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm again really humbled and honored. Thank you to the pizza community who's, threw my name in the ring, and to everyone else who's just been so kind and welcoming. Like, love to everyone.